Good evening, friends. Welcome once again to the discussion of cricket all around the globe. As now, cricket has been expanded towards all the corners of the world. Pakistan Super League in India, where now England thinking of how to play baseball. Just we now and to meet our founder, Mr. Varad Vaichal, founder of the Worldwide Conglomerate. Happy. Let's move the topic to the exciting series starting tomorrow in New Zealand. That's Australia versus New Zealand. And the Australian fan in Varad Vaichal would be very excited to speak about his Australian team, how they are the world champions, and what they will do in the upcoming series. So let's continue this discussion with my first question to Varad. Yes, Varad. Now, finally, after the West Indies series, which unfortunately didn't turned out to be like a complete domination by Australia. That Test series ended 1-1 and T20I Series 2 ended on a bitter note that they didn't whitewash the T20I Series. They were 2-1 Australia. So
Yes,
coming to New Zealand versus Australia, the Trans-Tasmanian rivals,
rivalry.
as
Yes,
they say,
yes,
Trans-Tasmanian rivalry, as they say. What is expected in this series from your side, in especially the Australian side, which is now back to their full strength?
yes. Anup sir, this is the last series before the T20 World Cup. Like bilaterals, Australia will be eager to finalize their playing unit because see they have the potential. They have got the Maxi, Stoinis, Cameron Green. I mean, all rounders are n type of all rounders are there, and the only worry is at who will captain Australia because I still don't feel and strongly believe that Mitchell Marsh is not a good option because he's also injury prone and you can't give the range to Smith and Warner also. You can't give them. And Patrick Cummins is also fast bowler. So still, like I think that and I believe that Australia will do the captaincy in a squad type, like 3 to 4 guys. Conference will be done, and it will be the task will be accomplished. But I am strongly getting a gut feeling like this is a bumper series. It's a blockbuster because New Zealand recently defeated Pakistan in the 5 T20 International Series by 4-1, if I'm not wrong. And then now it's what you call blockbuster series, as I said.
Yeah, continuing to the topic which you took, Steve Smith as an opener, which we recently saw in the series versus India too, the bilateral series in India after the
Yes.
World Cup. Steve Smith as an opener in T20 format doesn't seem to have filled the bill. So, what do you think about Smith's position in this T20 setup, which have batsmen like Josh English to their name, Matthew Wade, Josh English to their names?
Actually, they have a lot of all openers, to be honest, because see, David Warner is already there. Travis Head can open the batting. Cameron Green is there. Steven Smith. But I feel Steven Smith should bat in the middle order. You need a stabilizer. Just India has Virat Kohli. New Zealand has Kane Williamson. England has David Malan is there. Like he also is a stabilizer. So Smith has to bat in the middle order because see, they have the firepower. Warner can give the what your brute start can be. He has got the muscle power, everything. And then Mitchell Marsh can also open the batting. I mean, they need Smith to be present in tricky conditions. If 3 to 4 wickets are falling that first 7 to 8 overs, then they need Smith to take the team out of the trouble, which is most important. And now Angelo Matthews is also back in the T20 national setup. You must have seen in the Sri Lanka versus Afghanistan. You need the mid 30s cricketers. It's not the young bloods game. Even if you are in the modern era and the ever-changing landscape of cricket, you need what to call the veterans, the experience, and you must be aware of the fact now Rohit Sharma is the captain of India for T20 World Cup 2024. Even when Hardik Pandya was captain for a span of almost 2 years, the selection panel and all they said, हमको तो रोहित ही चाहिए. We want Rohit Sharma only. So you need those this type of guys in the team.
Yeah, true. Moving focus from all the other guys in mid 30s to a person who this would be probably the last bilateral series for him in internationally, as he said that World Cup T20 would be his last T20 assignment internationally. David Warner, the left-hander, already retired from Test and One Day. These two series, the World Cup and this bilateral series would be a testimonial series in his career. So how you look at David Warner to evolve? Because yes, sure, after this series, they will obviously, or the Australians will travel to their respective franchises in India for playing the IPL. But IPL doesn't give the testimony of a player who has more than a country. So David Warner as an Australian opener in T20I World Cup as well as this series, what does it what does it mean for you?
David Warner, see, you must be aware of the fact Virendra Sehwag, he said that you to Warner that you could be a better opener in the test arena. And he did that. He's a multi-format player. See, David Warner, we now remember David Warner for his family, the three kids which he has, the other side of David Warner. No doubt he was the bull, aggressive, and still he is. At the ground, the way he smashed sixes and against Caribbean, the men in maroon, it says Warner wants to finish on a high note. See, Caribbean beaches will test his character, his how he evolves, because the pitches of IPL, which will be in excess of 200, and US and West Indies 140, 150. In that tricky situations, you need Warner and Smith. Warner is such a character. He brings the best out of everyone. He's also part of leadership group. Indirectly, I'm saying, not directly, because still Cricket Australia feels that he's not a part of the leadership group. But they have the bonding, the camaraderie, and Warner is everyone's favorite. Even Nathan Leon, even Alex Carey, they used to say we love having Warner around us. So I feel that David Warner will finish on a high note, but I don't expect Warner to be that destructive, because in T20 World Cup, because of the pitches, because of the conditions. See, to all the viewers, I am telling you, IPL is the Indian Premier League. It's an international no. You the bowlers, the quality is very much what you call different as compared to the bilaterals and ICC tournaments. I'll give you only one example, that Pakistan versus Zimbabwe, which T20 World Cup match happened. Zimbabwe won against all odds, and then everyone got to know that bilaterals are very much important to build a team. You just can't say and wake up and say, oh come on, now I'm going to play IPL, I'm going to take a stepping stone, and then I'm going to what you call win the World Cup. No way. I'm not taking the name, but you got I guess Anup sir, that IPL is a stepping stone. Perform well there, play bilaterals, play tri series, and then go to the tournament, what you call T20 World Cup or whatever it is. But and Australia have done that. They have got the core team. Now it's just putting the pieces in a perfect way in the puzzle. And if they do that against New Zealand, oh my God, I'm telling you, Australia once again will make a statement that we will win another T20 World Cup.
Yes, early statements from you seems to be have fallen down seldomly at the recent past. But never mind, the matches are played on the grounds at New Zealand. Now, the grounds in New Zealand, as we had seen World Cup happening in Australia and New Zealand in 2015, sorry, 2015, the 50 over World Cup. We
Yes,
saw it happening in Australia and New Zealand, and the pitches and the grounds in New Zealand are very tiny grounds
yes,
with
yes,
boundary is short on all the sides of the boundary. So it's basically gonna be a high scoring series for sure, with both the teams having attacking batsmen. But
yes,
now coming back to Australian bowling, wow, Michael Mitchell Stark, Pat Cummins. I just highlighted the main bowler, Mitchell Stark, Pat Cummins, Josh Hazelwood. These three would be the key bowlers for Australia in this T20I series. But with both these players, getting high ranks in the IPL this time, breaking records all over the world in terms of money earned. How would Australia will be able to manage the workload of the bowlers, especially Michelle Stark and Pat Cummins, because they at least need to play some games in the IPL to justify their money as well.
yeah. No, actually, Anup sir, your question is absolutely spot on, bang on. And to be honest, but Cricket Australia's chief selector George Bailey has made it clear that all the players will be under his provision. So if someone says that his back is stiff or ankle is twisted or other whatever injuries are happening, they won't play. Cricket Australia has sent Cummins and Stark only to get some T20 preparation. If they believe that they are not in a good state, mental state, good space, Cricket Australia has the power to bring them back. And to all the viewers and spectators who are watching this IPL, they whatever 20 odd crores which both this Stark and Cummins which they got, no, they will get after they play the entire season when they do the net sessions, the planning meetings, team meetings, target meetings, and everything, and then the money would be paid. Now they haven't got a single penny. So Cricket Australia and see they have the bonding. They see these guys, Stark, Cummins, Hazelwood, they have been together since the last 7 to 8 years, almost a decade. They know what to do. So workload issue is not going to happen by any means. Only and only the workload will be for Indian cricketers. Because see, Rohit, Virat, Hardik, even KL Rahul, I mean, they have to play all the 14 to 16 matches. They are the leaders, they are one of the superstars and everything. But I don't see any sort of issue because George Bailey is everyone's buddy in the what you call camp and everywhere. So and see, Australia, it's their era now. We are in the Australian era. You have to admit it, sir, Anup sir, because they won 2015 World Cup, 2021 T20 World Cup, 23 20 Test Championship, 23 ODI World Cup. It's the Aussie era now. It's not like the Caribbeans are dominating, the Indians are in the zone. So let's expect that they will give some tough crack at New Zealand, but the workload issue will be managed. And Smith also doesn't have a contract also, no? Steven Smith. No one bought him. So
Yeah.
he'll be enjoying it at his home, doing commentary also if someone calls him, IPL broadcasters or even national ones. But Australians and also Britishers, they have the board is very strict. They are very much what you call dedicated to the ICC tournament as compared to other nations.
No, true. Understandably, you say that this is an Australian area, or the areas where Australians are going to succeed a lot. Hope they do so. But for the record, I say 2007 T20I World Cup, Australia lost to a country like Zimbabwe. So,
Yeah,
just for the matter of fact, and 2010, where England won the World Cup in West Indies, it was the final against Australia which they won the World Cup. And Australia won a match narrowly against Pakistan in the semi-finals.
same
So
as
Australia was the superpower then also, but Australia to 2021. So from starting the World Cup from 2007, it took them to 2021 to win their first T20I title officially. In
yeah.
spite having five world titles already to their name before that. So it might be true to say that in T20 you can't predict any team to be the best team on a given day. Even Australians can be surprised. But
Yeah,
coming by the Australian middle order now, they have three batters to be looked on: Marcus Stoinis, Glenn Maxwell, and Cameron Green. Cameron Green is looked upon as a young prodigy after David Warner, Steven Smith retires. He is gonna carry Australian colors on his shoulders. Secondly, is Glenn Maxwell, who just knows one way of playing T20, that's going ban then ban, and his shots are atrocious shot, the reverse swoops, anything. Means he is basically a golfer on a cricket field, you can say, with huge swings on the hand. And thirdly is Marcus Stoinis, who's basically, basic issue with Martha Steinitz is like he is basically the all-rounder which Australia looks to develop. Because Martha Steinitz of late has not been amongst the runs. But yeah, some wickets are with his bowling on pitches which has slowness has helped Australia win matches. So how you see these three players in this series versus New Zealand? Because New Zealand too have hitters in their camp.
yeah. Actually, Glenn Maxwell is, to be honest, he has got the license to go like berserk. He doesn't fear anyone. He's got the fearless attitude. He smashed a century. And he has got the what you call a lot of shots. Like he doesn't fear to play that switch hit. And Marcus Stoinis is a fast bowling all rounder, to be honest. Now he's becoming into that zone. He is not performing with the bat that much as compared to the initial stages of the career. And we are forgetting Cameron Green is only 24 years of age, and it has been now 5 years since he has been in the Australian setup. So he's one of the experienced guy in the team. And about Mitchell Marsh is the brute power, muscle power is there. He can go bang bang. He can smash a century in 30 balls also if he is in the zone and everything. And so you said that Australia they lost against England T20 World Cup final, 2007 Zimbabwe and everything. So they weren't getting those starts which were important. In 2010, Warner Watson were the openers, and when they both got cheaply out, there was massive pressure on the rest of the batters. And what happened in 2021? Warner was the player of the tournament. The opener needs to perform and see Australia, not only Australia, every cricketing board, every team has a very bad habit, like they are dependent on the top order only. And in 2020, you don't have time. You have to either go, what you call, you have to play fearless cricket, or either you play the waiting game. Waiting game is very dangerous. And we saw what happened in West Indies by playing the waiting game. They don't know how to tackle the spin as good as other Asian countries do. So, coming to the point, David Warner is the very key here. David Warner, Mitchell Marsh, Steven Smith. And if a collapse happens, no, any team can succumb to pressure. And you said 2021, India lost against Pakistan and New Zealand very brutally and were knocked out of the tournament. If the top order fails in T20 World Cup, you are out of the tournament. Even the likes of West Indies, Australia in 2009, the top order failed. The bowling was dismantled, everything. They didn't go to the Super 8 stage, to the next stage, group stage. Sri Lanka defeated them, West Indies defeated them, and it was like Tata bye bye. So the top order has to score runs. It's simple as that. See, Australia, they have a lot of match winners. They can chase 190 also, and they can get all out under 100 runs also. That's a very harsh reality. I know how it felt when Australia versus New Zealand match was their first opening match, T20 World Cup 2022. They lost by 89 runs, somewhat 80 orders or 90 orders. That changed the
Yeah.
entire complexion. If one bad game can ruin all of your hard work, you have to play according to the situation. Just as we in Go Worldwide, we said, oh, go with the flow. Don't try to intricate or complicate the things. And the pitches in Caribbean and United States, they are going to be very testing. We saw how Major League Cricket panned out, where Mumbai Indians franchise won, if I'm not wrong, that Reliance Industries, Mr. Ambani's team won. So the pitches there will be a surprise, but the majority of the matches, 35 odd matches, 30 odd matches are going to be played in Caribbean and 20 odd in or 70 or 20 odd in USA. So it's going to be very important, what you call 3 to 4 months for everyone.
Yeah, true that. Now, speaking about the match, it's not only the Australian team who is playing the match. Obviously, the opposition team should be given equal respect. So, New Zealand, talking about the New Zealand team, they are without their main bowler Trent Bolt for the first match. So, but still they have new bowlers in form of Bears to their account, and Team Saudi is much more experienced T20 bowler by now, and followed by they have the batting lineup which is full of hitters like Finn Allen, who recently smashed 16 sixes versus Pakistan in a T20 in New Zealand itself. Finn Allen at the top, and who was instrumental in 89 runs win over Australia in the so-called 2022 World Cup
Sure.
first match.
First prize, yes.
So, yeah, giving bright starts, and alongside him, Devon Conway, the experience of Ken Williams, and newbie Rachin Ravindra, who
Rachindra.
just stole the show in the current World Cup, recently included World Cup, concluded World Cup with a century against Australia only. So with these players to their squad, and also with their fielding being the done fielding, because Glenn Phillips, he place him anyway, he's gonna be the done fielder for you. So with this type of opposition, does Australia need to fear something about going into this series?
Yes,
Because New
Australia.
Zealand, we leave them so easily like the West Indies did or any other team did.
Yeah, see, Mitchell Stark, if you look at Australia's bowling, Mitchell Stark is not Mr. Consistent by any means. He can give a spell, but he can also take on to be the cleaners. the management, the selection panel have shown faith in him because he left arm bowlers and Josh Hazelwood, they bowl in tandem. They will bowl two overs, 4 overs, a good one, and Josh Hazelwood is often compared to Glenn McGrath. So these two are very important, pivotal to the team success. And see, just as we mentioned, discussed a couple of minutes ago, that the grounds are very small. So Australians also have that brute power. New Zealand also have that brute power. Glenn Phillips, I mean, what speed he has. He also said in some of his interviews, I am also surprised by the speed which I have. He's also worried. So New Zealand, they will do acrobatic fielding. Rachin Ravindra is there. Mitchell Santner is the captain of New Zealand. So let's see how it goes for New Zealand. But Trent Bolt should have been there, to be honest. I don't know what's the major reason, to be honest, because sources are saying something else and the reality is something else. Because see, this is the last T20 International Series, and in IPL, it's going to be a complete different ball game because we in India have the Lok Sabha elections. There is no idea, there is no clarity that the matches will be home away or a separate basis will be created for teams. Like it's going to be quite a what to call circus, to be honest, how the it forms. Because I'm telling you, in 2019 some of the matches of franchisee teams, they were shifted to another place. Like, see, Rajkot wasn't a venue for any team. So Rajkot was given as what you call home venue. So how will the franchises plan? So the main motto of telling all of this is this is the last series for the two what we call best teams, one of the best teams. So New Zealand will make sure that Rachin Ravindra gets into the groove. Because if Rachin Ravindra gets into the groove, then there is no added pressure on Kane Williamson, because Kane Williamson can play his waiting game, 40 balls, 60 odd runs, 50 runs, and then he can, in the knockout, in the crunch situations, he can go, let's come on, I'm going to hit sixes now. And see, we discussed earlier also, you need those mid 30s cricketers of because their experience when because see if we both are playing cricket together, for example, if we play we should play a great one day together, then you are there to tell me that this ball will come at that position, stay alert, you will give your guidance. So that is important. No, the partnership which happens, the communication from the non-striker, I'm telling you that this is the way the bowler is bowling. You must I've heard the interview of Sachin Tendulkar and Rahul Dravid, like how they tackle Chris Kane's fast bowling. So that is how tactics are there, and you need to be a tactician. See, Virat made the captain of Indian team anymore. Even and Kane Williamson is not there, Steven Smith is not there, but you need those guys. See, I'm concluding by saying this only. If Kane Williamson is not there, then there will be added pressure on the rest of the batters. So if Kane Williamson is there, the rest of Kane Williamson will say, okay, if I fail also, no, Kane Williamson will take care of the my team's batting. The same lies with India. The like if KL Rahul says if I don't score runs, then Virat is there. No, he will take care. I can play my free hand. I can play fearlessly. Australia also, England also, David Malan, Jason Roy, all of other openers. You need those senior guys in the team.
Yeah, true. Talking about Ken Williamson, yes. He is the old Willie Fox dude. He seemed to be have the form of their life, and especially in New Zealand, nobody can be a bigger threat like him because he is recently scored 7 centuries in test, 8 test innings. Though a different ball game, this man can't be ruled out anytime
Anytime,
soon.
yes.
So from Kane Williamson, we come to the spinners that New Zealand now have opted for three spin options. One is Rachin Ravindra, the second is Mitchell Santer, who is very accurate, and the gun fielder himself, and the third one is Ish Sodhi.
Is
In
sorry.
compared to Australia, who has spin option limited to Adam Zampa and Glenn Maxwell, who occasionally becomes a four-ball over bowler in T20I. So, that if the matches happens on a pitches which that seems to be sluggish, like the third, fourth, or fifth T20, which happened versus Pakistan, where Pakistan finally defended a very low score around 130 versus New Zealand. The New Zealand spinners, it should be said, would have the much upper hand on Australian batters. This.
Yeah, they definitely will have because see, Australians don't know that much to play out the spinners. Like you have to. It's not about what you call smashing sixes against the spinners. You can take rotate the strike 3 to 4 balls and then wait for a shorter ball, or you see even in the slot region. See, I'm telling you an example of 2021 T20 World Cup semi-final match. Shadab Khan, the Australians were chasing around 190 or 170, 190 target was there. Shadab Khan came into the attack. He single-handedly took 4 wickets, 3 to 4 wickets, 4 wickets.
True.
And if Sodi comes into the attack, Aussies once again will press the panic button. And even if they score around 70 to 80 runs in the power play overs, it will be like they will lose 4 to 5 wickets in a span of 20 to 30 runs. So that's why a caliber of cricketer of Steve Smith has to be there. He needs to say, stay there. We will have our opportunities or we will create our opportunities. For creating that opportunities, you have got Glenn Maxwell. He will play that switch hit and he will be that much what you call bold in taking risk. RCB play bold. He's also part of RCB. So he will be so the roles. I'm 100% sure, somewhat sure that the roles will be assigned to the cricketers. Like Cameron Gill will play out, and Glenn Maxwell, Steve Smith, Mitchell Marsh, David Warner, Travis Head. I mean, so many match winners are there, no? But there is one massive drawback. No one will take responsibility. That can happen. In 2022 World Cup, that first match, which they lost by 80 odd runs, because of that match, their entire tournament went into the wane. Someone has to say, okay, I'm there, I will take responsibility, even if the rest of the guys succumb to pressure or fall like a pack of cards.
Looking at New Zealand team, Varad sir, I just have to ask you a question. New Zealand look Australia like as if India is looking at Pakistan.
Yeah, definitely. The
Their
rivalry is there.
rivalry, their rivalry is very fierce because previously also during the olden days when Brendan Mathelham, Stephen Fleming used to play, New Zealand in T20I used to come very close to Australian totals, especially in the recently concluded World Cup match too. 389 runs to be achieved and New Zealand came 5 runs close. Not for that exceptional fielding from Marnus Labuschagne, Australia would have lost that match at Dharamshala
Yeah, yeah.
and wouldn't have qualified for semi-finals further, which eventually happened. But New Zealand has given a tough headache for Australia. Seeing at the New Zealand batting lineup, their first 6 overs will be heavily dependent on the batting lineup, Devon Conway and Finn Allen, and inconsistent to Australia, who has David Warner and maybe Steve Smith up the order because might right now they won't or either Josh English, but Finn Allen, who has a record of 16 sixes just few months back on New Zealand grounds, would be a greater threat to the Australian bowlers, even with the likes of Hazelwood or Mitchell start bowling. And Devon Conway, under he has been trained very well under the captainship of MS Dhoni.
Yes,
He
yeah.
should be again looking to utilize his skills over the Australian. So the New Zealand opening pair, if Australian doesn't fix out Finn Allen very early, it would be very dangerous for Australia to contain New Zealand as well. Because New Zealand would be like a thorn in the flesh for Australia then. Your take on that?
Yeah, Australia New Zealand rivalry is getting very bigger. See, we know that Ashes rivalry, Border Gavaskar Trophy, India Pakistan is there, but this rivalry is very silent one. They are New Zealand are the nice guys. Australians are come on, like we are the champions. They roar like a lion. But New Zealanders like come on, they will show you your place also one day. It's like that rivalry. And coming back to Devon Conway, Richin Ravindra, and all the other Daryl Mitchell. Daryl Mitchell is not there, if I'm not wrong. Daryl Mitchell is not
No,
there. Yeah, Finn
Darren
Allen
Mitchell is injured.
injured. He's there for Test series. Yeah, so see, New Zealand they have the characters. They don't give up. See,
They
Australia,
have Chapman in them.
uh,
New Zealand had Chapman with them,
Mark Chapman,
who had 200 runs in Pakistan. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So they have those characters, those what you call the fighting spirit is there. They are we all know that Australia never give up. But if you look at the last 10 to 15 years, no, New Zealand haven't give up. They have made it to the knockout stages. They were to the finals of tournament. But somewhat what you call the fortune favors the brave, but they weren't those brave in the current situations. That's why all of the hard work they aren't recognized. They also don't play that much cricket. Only the big three, BCCI, ECB, and CA. Only these three boards play the majority of the cricket. New Zealand only played two test match series even after performing so much. We're not going into that. And Anup sir, I would like to ask you one question. So who are you supporting, Australia or New Zealand? Who will win the series?
See, I won't predict on the series winning, but I would predict like New Zealand will definitely give a tough time, considering that the conditions, no matter Australians would have traveled to New Zealand early, or it's just a nation, it's just a small country opposite their nation, but considering the conditions and home advantage. New Zealand certainly have an advantage. So I give it a 60-40 verdict in terms of New Zealand coming hard at Australia.
Yeah, that's the reality. But actually, I feel New Zealand, the pitches, the grounds are very small. That's a very major issue, drawback. So any target will be achievable.
It would be the battle. For me, it would be the battle between the New Zealand bowlers and the Australian batters.
Yeah, it's going to be a high scoring series. We have to admit this fact. From the bot, I am telling this from the bottom of heart. And tomorrow is the day night match, right? It's at 11:40 p.m.
Yeah,
So the crowd will
Indian
be
time.
there. Yeah, in Indian time, IST. So the crowd will be there. It will be interesting. So how much support the Aussies get, because Aussies still, the guys hate them, because we Indians hate them because we snatched ODI World Cup, we snatched WTC Championship final, under 19 World Cup. So let's see what happens. And New Zealand, I want contests. I want those characters like Kane Williamson is there, Smith, some rivalry, some banter, some what you call these two nations are those ones who have kept the rivalry alive. See the rivalry, Chappell Hadley Trophy, which is the Richard Hadley and Ian Chappell. These two greats, cricket greats. We are
Yeah.
very fortunate that these two creators are still giving their best to the our generation, because their insights are so much to pinpoint on bang on spot on. To be honest, no, we can't match those standards even if we try. But it's our fortune that these guys are still there and commentating, giving their invaluable insights. So guys, as usual, I am supporting Australia. I want a contest, but I want a 3-0 finish, something that which will boost
Oh, that won't
Australia.
happen, sir.
Okay, let's
That
see,
won't
let's see,
happen
let's
in
see who.
terms of New Zealand because some predictions for you in the recent times have gotten wrong.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I said England will bounce back. We will talk that later on a large note, just like we have done here. But this is Australia, and see, England can also bounce back. Don't underestimate them, because McCallum is a deep. Brendan McCallum, who is the head coach of England, is a deep thinker. So who knows what can happen? Great is a game of uncertainty. Anything can happen, even if it is Test, T20, ODI, T10, even 5-hour tournament should be started very quickly now. Even a toss tournament will be there.
yeah.
Let's see what happens. And coming back to the T20 International Series, guys, do watch this series. It's see India versus England is also going to happen at the same time. Not tomorrow. It's a test match is the 23rd. But watch this. It will
So
what
one
you call.
last one. One last question before.
Yes, yes,
Do
yeah.
you expect to see some super overs in New Zealand versus Australia?
Yeah, definitely. I want some super overs, because that will build the what you call the hype for the T20 World Cup. At least one super over तो होनी चाहिए sir. मतलब मजा आ जाएगा. And Anup sir, thank you for your invaluable time, and to all the guys, well, viewers, just stay tuned, because a lot of content is going to come at your place. Because T20 World Cup, IPL is there. What you call that? Our England versus India Test series is going on. So if you like the video, then only share. We are not forcing you by any means. Anup sir, thank you for your time. Have a nice day. Thank you. Good night. Bye.
Good night, sir. Bye.